general use cases for VPC. I think most of the situations where you need to have a simple website or a simple web presence is normally what you go for cloud. But again, in a corporate type of environment, normally you could use it to have web servers which are web facing, and you could have the backend systems like your database applications on a private subnet, and you can restrict how outside users, either from internet or from corporate network, connect to these resources. You can also treat AWS and VPC in general as an extension of your corporate network, move some of your test development environment over to cloud. And also another key usage is for disaster recovery purposes. These are general cloud usage cases as well. Let's look at a typical simple. So this is a very simple VPC architecture. So if you look at the outer layer, so that is our region. And the next is our VPC, which is the virtual private cloud. Don't worry about the details. We'll go over them in detail. I'm just giving a logical overview. So this is our VPC. And within VPC, we have our subnets. So if you imagine this as a physical network, so this is our physical network, VPC, within which we can have separate subnets. So subnets are logical division of your network, which can be defined for different purposes. And there are other components which are security groups, network access control list, route tables and routers, and finally internet gateway. These are, if you like, very common components you would use to create a very simple network within AWS. So in this architecture, so we have a VPC created within a region. Within that, we have a subnet here, and we have an instance here. So this is our actual resource. So this is the reason why we have created a network and subnet and all that, is to place certain resource in a certain area and allow that to be used in a certain manner. So this is the instance that you want to connect, say, for example, from internet. So this is the outer region. This is the VPC we were talking about. So this is the one that we would create. And these are the subnets that we can create inside our VPC for specific purposes. So in this situation, we have created a VPC and we have created one subnet and we have placed an instance inside our subnet. Say if we want to access this instance from internet, the steps that we would go through is, first we need to know the public IP address of this instance, and then we would try to connect them through SSH, for example, or RDP if it is a Windows environment. So first you would touch the internet gateway and you would come into router. So router is a logical representation. You would not see a router anywhere on the AWS console. I've just put that here to give an understanding of how information flows. So this is built into AWS infrastructure. We cannot see or configure anything about it. So the traffic comes in from internet gateway. So that's inbound traffic. It comes into the route table. Don't worry about what these are. We will go through in detail. So it comes into the route table, then it comes to something called as NACL, which is Network Access Control List. Then it comes to the subnet, and it has to go through something called a security group, and then it gets allowed to connect to the instance. Likewise, the outbound traffic, again, goes through the security group, goes through NACL, route table, router, and internet gateway. Okay, don't worry if you're not comfortable with, or if you haven't had any experience with any of this before, we will go through this in detail. So just as a logical flow, it goes via like this, and then the outbound goes through like this. So that's, if you like, the logical flow. Let's go back to the presentation.